Hey guys, just modeling the brand new Ham and Spiritware that we just made for today. So just if you go to Hammond, buy these Den shirts for $5 tomorrow morning or tomorrow during lunch and stuff like that, and then come to the game Friday and support the Den. And so I guess this isn't really to show my school spirit. It's a philosophy podcast called Allan's Answers, and this is the episode for September 1st, 2010, episode number 11. And today I got 4 questions lined up for us. The first one comes from the Italian Job, and they ask, when everything is said and done, did it basically come down to my way of thinking versus your way of thinking? And I think that basically this could generally be true if you want to keep it in lamest terms, but there are so many different aspects of a situation that you can't really just say that it's just thinking, you know? There's so many, I guess your actions and other people's actions don't necessarily dictate how a situation turns out. You know, there's so many different factors involved in a certain situation, whether it comes from the environment, just all the other external factors that life throws at us, you know? So it can't just be what you think versus what I think, you know? And I feel like that while a good part of it is our thoughts, because all our actions are somewhat determined by our thoughts. Sometimes we act rash where we don't really think about what we say or what we do, but for the most part, at least subconsciously and mostly, we recognize the fact that we go through some process in our brain when we determine what we should do in our lives, and when it comes down to it, that plays a huge part in our lives. So I don't think it works for all cases, but it is a very big part of our lives. And then James Thomas asks, do you ever feel like life is changing too fast? And do you wish you could live in the past, live in the memory of some good time you've had in the past, and wish that moment could last forever? And I guess I would have to say, of course, yes, I definitely feel like life moves too fast, you know? I feel like that. I'm pretty sure other people have the same opinion, that once I get comfortable to a situation, I feel like life changes again, you know? But the thing is, I don't wish that I could live in the past or live in the memory of some good time, because first of all, I believe that your memories aren't really, I guess, accurate judges of what happened, you know? I feel like that with time, our memories kind of modify or manipulate the situations that we occurred in the past to make them seem better or worse than they actually happened. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure there's some scientific data out there to support that, but I just feel like that our memories don't represent our memories well enough for me to willing to risk it, you know? But of course, there are obviously special moments in your lives when you're like, wow, that was the best time in my life. And I feel like that unless it was so good and I could realize that only my future would get worse from there, then I would. But for the most part, I think that life has to change fast, and I feel like you have to continue on and get with the times in order to completely improve your collective being, you know? I feel like that it's important to continue on with your life in order to make the world a better place, and not just yourself as well. And I feel like that the reason that I personally want to do is because I always think that the future is going to get better, you know? I keep building on to what I know and what I can do now each and every day, and that only means that I can go up from here. Of course, there are going to be situations where negative things will happen in my life, but I just keep pushing on, you know? Because I feel like it's going pretty good now, and it'll just get better. So that's just why I want to live in the moment and plan for the future and learn from the past, but live in the moment. And then the next question comes from Leah Wellington, and they ask, what does a person mean when they say get a life? And I wanted to kind of, I guess, clear up any notions that people might have about this. And I guess on lamest terms, it means that when people say get a life, it means to get out of their own business and have your own business to attend, you know? Like when people, or when they continuously do the same thing, that it doesn't necessarily add any productive things in their life, you know? So like if somebody's in somebody else's business or is really attentive or stalkerish on somebody else's life, then that person who's getting stalked on wants to express to them that that person who's stalking needs to stalk their own selves in a way, you know? They have to get their own life and live their own. But in a sense of not being productive and continuously doing the same thing, you must just, like, if you play video games all day, then you need to get a life, because that's not necessarily, like, good old video games every good once in a while, you know, but playing it all the time is definitely not beneficial to your life. So I feel like it is important to get a life, but what people define as a life isn't necessarily, or is definitely not the same from case to case. So you have to judge it for yourself, but there are also some certain guidelines that determine a life, and that is, in my opinion, being a productive member of society and not wasting your time or being too involved in somebody else's life. You know, you have to be an individual and you have to be a productive individual, and that's my opinion on it. And then Mamma Mia asks, we are more than we know, agree or disagree? And I say, of course, yeah, we definitely are more than we know, from different aspects of us, like spirituality and consciousness, you know, abstract concepts like that. People have no idea about why we're here, what we're doing, and I don't think we'll ever find out, because they're just too far out there questions that it's just no way that anybody can accurately answer it and be 100% correct, you know. But on a biological level, you know, there's just so much about us as a human that we can't accurately detect, you know, like our medicines, we can't cure everything, you know. We don't understand why our bodies do certain things, even in this day and age, you know. And technology is rapidly improving in order to help make these things known, but there's still so much more out there that we have no idea or understanding about them, you know. And there are just so many more parts to the human and what humans are in relation to existence, you know, like the questions like, why are we here, what are we doing, what's our purpose, you know. We can't know everything, and for instance, like, why do we only use 10% of our brain, what's that other 90% being used for, you know, and other parts that are unexplained, like, just, I don't know, it's just so much out there that's so, the universe is so complex, and there's just no way that humans can know anything, let alone know everything about themselves. So that's just my opinion on it. Hopefully that answered all of your guys' questions, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode, got some thought-provoking ideas from it, and hopefully you'll look forward to tomorrow's episode as well, and I will see you then. Bye.